So the CEO of Christian nationalist social network Gab says this is a Christian nation, and those of us who aren't Christian need to bend our knees to the majority of Christians. Let's talk about it in today's video. Hi, I'm Mike Greiner. I'm a lifelong Democratic activist who's concerned about the direction our country is taking. I'm also a lawyer and an academic, and I'm here to help you stand up to the BS of the MAGA crowd. So Andrew Torba is the CEO of social network Gab that is known for its Christian nationalism and right-wing fascism. He's also a big-time supporter of Pennsylvania gubernatorial candidate Doug Mastriano, who is actually advertised on his network. Mastriano, of course, we remember, is the gubernatorial candidate who helped plan the January 6th insurrection, and who has said that if he were governor, and remember in Pennsylvania, the governor controls the electoral machinery, that if he were governor, he would not have certified the election for Joe Biden and would instead have handed the election to Donald Trump, even though he lost the state. But if you think that's scary, wait until you hear what Mastriano's buddy Andrew Torba says. Check it out.
This is a Christian nation. Christians outnumber you by a lot. A lot.
Okay, let's start with that. Unfortunately for him, the data he's working with appears to be pretty old because guess what? The number of self-identified Christians has been going down steadily over the past few years. In fact, according to the Gallup organization, a majority of Americans no longer identify themselves as being a member of a church. And according to Pew, only 63% of Americans identify themselves as Christians. Now, it's worthy of note, I identify myself as a Christian. So what's more important is, what percentage of Americans are Christian evangelicals? Well, as it turns out, only about 24% of Americans now identify themselves as Christian evangelicals. Now, that's a lot for sure. But guess what? 29% of Americans from the same poll identify themselves as religious nuns. Those would be people who identify themselves as atheist, agnostic, or nothing in particular. In other words, the people who don't believe in God and don't believe in religion, or at least aren't sure about it, outnumber the Christian evangelicals by a pretty substantial number. So if we're going to go by purely who outnumbers whom, well, I've got news for the Gab CEO and the other Christian nationalists. Things aren't looking so good for them. Let's keep watching.
And we're not going to listen to 2%. You represent 2% of the country.
Sorry to say, but the people who do not believe in religion represent 29% of Americans. The people who do not belong to any church represent 52% of Americans. And the people who support his position, the Christian evangelicals, only represent 24% of Americans. Less than a quarter of Americans. So guess who's in the minority here? Let's keep watching.
Okay? We're not bending the knee to the 2% anymore.
You see, now this is the thing that bothers me. He talks about bending the knee. Nobody's asking him to bend the knee. Nobody's asking Christians to bend the knee. We're just asking for everybody to be able to live their own lives. Let Christian people be Christian. Let Muslim people be Muslim. Let Jewish people be Muslim. Let agnostics and atheists be whatever they want to be. That's how America's supposed to be, by the way. Quoting Thomas Jefferson, by the way, religious institutions that use government power in support of themselves and force their views on persons of other faiths or of no faith undermine all our civil rights. Moreover, state support of an established religion tends to make the clergy unresponsive to their own people and leads to corruption within religion itself. Gee, can you think of examples of corruption within the evangelical movement? Let's keep reading. Erecting a wall of separation between church and state, therefore, is absolutely essential in a free society. That's what Thomas Jefferson said. Now, as I recall, he's one of the founding fathers, isn't he? In fact, he's the author of the Declaration of Independence. So is America a Christian nation? Let's keep watching.
The 98% of the rest of us, 75% of which are Christians, self-identifying Christians, we're not.
Again, 75% of Americans are not self-identifying Christians, and even among the people who are self-identifying Christians, most of them are not evangelicals. In fact, the fastest decline in church membership is among Protestants. So guess what? The evangelical Christians are getting to be a smaller and smaller group all the time. I wonder why. Let's keep watching.
Taking it anymore, bud. We are taking back our culture. We're taking back our country. We're taking back our government. So, deal with it.
So that's what this is really all about. This is all about power. And I heard it expressed very powerfully by Amanda Tyler, the executive director of the Baptist Joint Committee for Religious Liberty and the lead organizer of Christians Against Christian Nationalism, who said that basically these Christians have adopted power as their false god. That they care more about power now than they care about their religion, than they care about Christianity, or than they care about the teachings of Jesus. I mean, the idea that anybody should tell anybody else what to do when it comes to your religion is completely counter to what this country is all about, based upon the quote that I just read from Thomas Jefferson. But even if we accept the argument of Gab's CEO Torba, that whoever's the majority should control things, well, I got news for him. The majority of Americans don't belong to any church. And only a tiny minority of Americans support the kind of Christian evangelicalism that he represents. But the truth of the matter is, that's probably why we're in the crisis we're in right now. They know they're in decline. They know they're becoming a minority. They know that they're becoming a smaller and smaller group. And they're afraid what will happen if they become the minority. They're afraid, will the people who we've oppressed for so long suddenly start oppressing us the way that we did to them? So they're desperately trying to hang on to power at all costs, not caring about democracy, not caring about anything except protecting their Christian white identity. And that, my friends, is what we're battling in this upcoming election. Well, if you want to check out a video that I did quite a while ago talking about how the white Christian minority is doing everything they can to try to stay in power, check out this video over here. If you didn't think religious war has happened anymore, this is what's happening in America right now. I'll see you then. In the meantime, let's hope for continued progress. Thank you.